What's the goal here?
Just to connect, just to hear your story.
Okay.
Really just to get to know you a little bit. The audience again can get to know you a little bit. So essentially, welcome to the Gary Gilgen podcast. On today's show, we have a good friend of mine, absolute superstar in Boise, Idaho, doing big things, going to be on national television soon. My good friend, Rocky. How you doing today, Rocky?
Fantastic. Thank you. It's an honor to be on your show. Appreciate it, Gary.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
You've done we haven't known each other for a long time, but I feel like ever since we met, I was just love at first sight.
Right. Yeah, there was a connection for sure.
Yeah, kindred spirits.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I saw what you were doing, and I said, I got to connect with this guy because he's on the same path, doing the same thing, and I love that. So it's definitely all about relationships and connecting with people who are going the same direction that you are and have some similarities and have the same sort of mindset. That's really important. So I love personal development. It's my industry, so I dig it, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. What are you into right now? You're pretty busy. You're actually headed out of town tomorrow, right?
Yeah, we leave at about 6 in the morning. Our plane leaves at 6 in the morning, fly out to Orlando, Florida. I'm going to be emceeing and speaking as one of the keynotes for a large organization. They're in the personal development travel industry, so they've asked us to come down there and be part of the program. So it's pretty exciting to do that. So it'll be about a 5-day conference. So there are people coming from all over the world, and it's going to be a great event. It'll be a lot of fun. Orlando, Florida. I mean, kind of hard to beat that.
Yeah.
So yesterday we were in. Yesterday morning, so that was Monday morning, we were in about -5-degree weather in the center of Idaho, and we got on the four-wheeler and we headed up to the majestic mountains because we were hunting. We didn't get anything, but tomorrow I'll be in like 80-degree weather.
Yeah, humid and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you go from the beautiful majestic mountains, super cold, to oceans and beaches and stuff. So it's a big difference.
Yeah, as my dad would say, tomorrow you're literally getting on a time machine.
Yeah, I am. You are.
100 years ago, it would take potentially months to go from central Idaho to Orlando, Florida.
Years ago, Gary, I used to work for FedEx. So Fred Smith, 40 years ago, however long ago, had a dream, and his idea was to get a package from one side of the country to the other side of the country in the same day. And so he wrote this article about him doing that. And the professor said it can't be done. And I don't know if he flunked out, but his grade was super low. And he actually didn't go from one side of the country to the other. He actually went from one side of the world to the other. And that's Fred Smith with FedEx. So, whenever you have a dream, especially if you're talking to a dreamer, the worst thing you could possibly say to that guy is you can't do it, right? You can't be done. They'll find a way to get it done. And I know you're a guy like that, and I'm probably a guy like that. So there's like an internal motivation to keep you going to that next level, to keep fighting, persevering through the difficult times. And that's what allows people to overcome, is keeping that dream, that why in front of them. So I know you're running after that, buddy, in a big way. So that's exciting.
I mean, you just opened the door there. So what is your dream? What's your vision?
I like freedom personally. So money, and it depends on the individual, right? I believe that doesn't matter how much it is, but I like time freedom. And so what that means to me is being able to do what I want, when I want, with who I want to do it with. So ultimately, the goal is to own everything, is to own everything free and clear. I don't owe anybody anything. And I can travel when I want. I can go pick up, whatever I want to get as far as vehicles, travel, all that. And most important to me is my family. So time freedom with the family is ultra important to me. And so that, if you said, what's your big why? My big why is time freedom, to be able to do what I want, when I want, with who I want to do it with. And when I incorporate that with other individuals, it's really big because it's reaching millions of people, and we've actually already done that. I think our story altogether has reached about 400 million plus people around the world, and I'm just continuing to keep strategizing and looking for ways to reach more people in big, big ways. like tonight, right? And sometimes it's just small little groups at a time, but you never know where that's going to lead to, right?
Yep.
So I speak for this Rotary Club about, I don't know, 5 months ago, and you know, one of the executive directors for a local college here said, "Hey, oh my," you know, heard 5 minutes in my talk and said, "Hey, come in and let's talk." So, anyways, now I'm leading and coaching their entire organization, which now, like this evening, I'm going in, I'm talking to the students of this organization because they have a big goal. Well, I'm in there to help them achieve their big goal, and it has to start with somebody. So we started with the faculty, we started with the instructors, we got them dialed in doing what they need to do so they can teach the students, right, the small, simple little strategies on leadership. And, you know, when it gets difficult, don't quit, don't give up, right? You're going to college for a reason, stay in. And so we call that retention, right? And the goal is graduation. That's what their goal is. For you and me as entrepreneurs, like our goal is time freedom. So we've got to do what we can. We're shaking and moving. We're building relationships. You know, we're finding ways to partner with other people, co-branding, all these things. But for them, their goal, right, and their dream is to get a great career. So I'm going to help them do that. And we teach them the small, simple strategies. That's it. It works all across the board. Doesn't matter if you're a student going to college or if you're an entrepreneur, you want to make, you know, a ton of money.
Absolutely. All those values and all of those practices translate into everything.
Absolutely.
Nice, man.
You know, and you're always learning and growing. And if you're not learning, you're not growing, you're dying.
Absolutely.
You know, so I'll give a great example. So today I met with a good friend of mine, and I actually met him years ago. I was launching my Samson Wear business. My first client was bodybuilding.com. And so for those of you who know who they are, and I think they probably still are, but at the time they were the largest online transformational company in the world, right? They had more videos of transformations than anybody else in the world, and largest supplement company online. Yeah. So my story got launched with them. It goes viral. And I thought, wow, gosh, you know, and I put words. See, these are apparel. I put powerful messages on apparel. And they're like, hey, we like that idea. So I came into the company. And they said, you need to talk to Lance. So Lance is he's the apparel manager at the time. So anyways, Lance has since moved on, gone on to some cool big things. So I met with him today because I met him.
I'm sorry to interject. Does Lance currently live in Austin, Texas?
No, he lives here in Boise, Idaho. And so Lance, it was the MC at a bodybuilding competition that I was a vendor at. So I was selling my apparel to bodybuilders, which they still buy. And so he, anyways, we built this amazing, great relationship. But he was one of the coolest MCs, like for the show, like a show that I ever said. Gosh, he was so interactive and humorous, and he was able to break in and you know, be a great commentator and introduce, and it was great, right? And so I remember that. So here I am going to be an MC at this event, and I've spoke thousands of times, but I've never MC'd. So what I'm saying is there's a skill set to speaking and being an effective speaker, and then there's a skill set to being an MC. I haven't been an MC, bro. So I met with Lance so I could learn and I could grow this new skill. And I'm like, gosh, that's a great idea. And I'm taking notes on my phone, right? And I'm like, what about this? And he's like, well, here's what you do. I'm like, yeah, that's great, right? So it was just like all these pieces kind of connected together. I met with a buddy of mine last week, and he was an MC, and he gave me some tips. So my point is that I'm always learning, always growing, because I want to be the best I can be, Gary.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I know you are too. You know, that's why we connected in transforming lives and thoughts. I mean, you're the master of thoughts, and so that's good stuff. I'm right down that line. Yeah,
absolutely, man. So, I mean, tell me your story, because I really don't know your story. Give me some details of your story.
So, you know,
when were you born?
Yeah. So, okay, good question. I was born in Idaho, so I was born in Nampa, Idaho, actually. And did you ask when or where?
When and where?
When. I was born December 17, 1969, so it makes me 47. But I'm a young 47.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
so,
you don't look a day over 27. Phenomenal.
Hey, it's healthy living, bro. You know what I'm saying? Drinking lots of water and eating good food. So, yeah, I was born in Nampa, Idaho, and then I grew up in Jerome, Idaho. So I grew up on a farm here in Idaho. So I learned to milk goats and feed chickens and get the eggs. And, and so I lived a farm life, and I knew what it was like to have a family around. My mom and dad have been married for 60 years, actually this year. I have an older brother, younger brother, so I'm in the middle. And I had a great youth. I grew up really well. I learned disciplines. I learned, how to do chores, and I have a real strong common sense about me, and I think I got that from farm and commercial fishing and these sort of things. I'm not a super smart book guy, like test driven, like if I were to go study and take a test. I'm not really smart that way, but I'm really good at common sense stuff. And so I just learned to really navigate life and learn from other people's mistakes, and think things through right before you kind of take the action. And so because of that, I had this entrepreneur attitude. My parents were in Amway, so I actually got involved in the Amway business kind of with them, and I started learning and growing in the personal development, listening to Amway tapes. And by the time I graduated high school, I had this PhD in entrepreneurship. And I remember listening to this guy when I was 13 years old, and he said, you've arrived when you can live on the interest of your principal. And I'm just a kid. I'm just a young teenager. I'm like, I got it, right? That clicked. And I thought, that's my goal, right? So whatever that is, I want that. So I ended up attaining that in my 30s. And so, I had enough money put aside and invested it in a couple different places, majority with a close friend of mine that I knew for about 18 years. And so I'm living on the interest of my principal, which is really good money. Like, it's retirement kind of money, easy. And so I'm doing well. I'm living a good life. You could say I had a motorhome and four-wheelers and snowmobiles, and I'm traveling kind of when I want. There was an element that was missing, and I'll share that within a moment. But at that moment, I kind of had achieved what I wanted. And so I get a phone call one night that says, you've been a victim of one of Arizona's largest Ponzi schemes run by, and he gave the name, and it was the guys I invested with, my close friends. I lost everything like that. Gone. Millions of dollars. My home, my land, possessions, everything's tied to it. So in a matter of a phone call, I don't know what I'm going to do.
What do you mean? What frame of time were you out of the house?
It was right around 2009, 2009. No, it was 2009 because I ended up going to Washington. So it was 2009. So it was right during the crash, if you will. And the Sunshine States got hit the worst. They just got hammered. And when I was living in Arizona, there are foreclosure homes everywhere. There are people committing suicide over just losing homes. Well, I not only lost my home, but I lost all my investment. I had some land that I had invested in. That's gone. So I had to sell the motorhome and all the other stuff and liquidate as much as I could, and ended up taking a trip to the state of Washington because there was a job opportunity out of state. So I went up there to live in a French trailer. I'm on my way there, and he's like, hey, listen, I'm selling the trailer. So I'm going there, and I have no place to stay. Wow. So I'm calling the guy that I'm going to be working with, and he says, hey, just come stay with me. So I stay with him. 2 weeks after I get there, he moves out. So my faith was so low. I had my confidence just sank. It just dropped to an all-time low, man. It bottomed out. I felt horrible. Like, gosh, I trusted in these people. And I find that you put your trust in someone and you have confide in somebody and they take advantage of that, you're going to have challenges, okay? You're going to have emotional abandonment issues and trust issues. And I had that. And so, because I just lost everything, I trusted this guy and he stole from me. That's a bad thing to happen. That hurts a person, right? So I ended up living with this guy. But on the way there, the only thing I could ask God for was not a TV, right? And the reason why is I knew my weakness. Is I was like into movies. I just watch movies and I'd watch the Travel Channel and just like I got lost in it. Some people
escape.
Yeah, escape. Right. It was my escape. That was my escape. Thank God it wasn't like drugs and alcohol and all that, right? I'm so grateful I didn't go that route. I wouldn't be alive today. So I went that route and I just said, I don't want a TV. I didn't want to go down that road again because there was this period of time where like, what do I do? And I just kind of escaped. So they move out of this house and I ended up living in this foreclosed home as a squatter for an entire year in Washington. And finally the letter, I found out that the home was going into, like they were going to someone's going to buy the home. So I ended up moving out. But before that happened, it was February of 2009. I hit a dark place in my place, Gary. Everything came crashing down. I'm alone. I've lost everything. This is about 6 months after I'm there, and I just like how do I end all the pain? So how does suicide come into this? How do you start thinking about that?
Oh, yeah.
I was already depressed, right? I already hit that. I was already there for a while, and I gained a ton of weight. So I'm a fat, depressed, overweight guy. And the story is I made a decision to change that night. So the first thing that's happened is my thought process was either I'm going to live or I'm going to die. And I had to make a decision of which way to go.
Right.
I was at a crossroads, right? I was at the crossroads. And so I decided to live. So I went downstairs. I threw out the Fruity Pebbles and the ice cream and the donuts and all the negative food. I had made a plan. Got to get a plan. I made a plan that I was going to hit the gym early in the morning, because I had just locked down a job at the airport. Thank goodness. It was kind of like my saving grace, a job, right? Because I could have something I could depend on. Yeah. And that means I had to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to hit the gym, because I made a commitment to myself. Because I broke enough in my lifetime, and I wanted to make sure I could do this one. So I ended up, hitting the gym, and 3.5 months later, I lost 47 pounds of body fat, and I started looking pretty good. An opportunity comes for me to go to Idaho, which is where I grew up at. My parents are here. My brother lived here, and he says, "Hey, come to Idaho." I got another job, so I got a job and a place to live in like within an hour, 2 phone calls. And so I moved to Idaho, and my brother has a place for me, and little do I know, it's his treehouse. I moved into my brother's treehouse, and I lived there for an entire year. True story.
No way.
Yeah.
You survived an Idaho winter in a treehouse.
Yeah. The entire year. Here's what's wild. So we just got back from central Idaho, where it was somewhere between 0 and -5 degrees, and that was outside. And I'm talking, I have 6 layers of clothes on, and we're talking a shirt and a long sleeve and a vest and a sweatshirt and a parka, because we're going to be rolling down the road in a 4-wheeler, so we're dressed really, really like cold weather. That's the kind of weather I lived in for an entire winter. It's pretty cold that winter. So anyways, I lived an entire year in my brother's treehouse. So a humbling experience for me. So I kind of lived homeless for almost 2 years.
What do you think was the test?
Yeah.
What was the test during that time? What were you being stimulated to learn in that treehouse?
Yeah, great question. I share the story quite often. I went to sleep most nights just being grateful. I didn't go to sleep thinking about what I didn't have. So strange. I somehow, sometime in there, started changing what I was thinking about. And not for lack, but I was thinking that I had a roof over my head, and that I had a mattress, and I had a pillow, and I had some clothes, and that's what I was thinking about. And I was just like, I was grateful for what I did have, not what I didn't have. But I lived there for an entire year. And so at the end of the year, Gary, I move out, and I decided, and I went through a divorce through this situation. I thought I could repair it. I couldn't repair it. It was it ended up breaking, and so I went through a divorce too. So I lost everything just outside of my life. Everything's gone. I had to restart everything over. And so I just said, gosh, I've seen those guys on the front of the magazines that have abdominal veins. Can I do that? I don't know, man. Gosh, I think I do, but I'm going to go for it, right? So I hired a coach. And by the way, I have coaches now, and I'm a coach. And I think that if anybody out there wants to really excel, you need a coach. And I've got several. So anyways, I got a coach, and he took me to a place that I could never go because I didn't know how to get there.
Yeah.
And inside of 7 weeks, I went from, 13 or something percent body fat, 14 to like 4. And by the way, I look pretty amazing at 4% body fat, right? I got abdominal veins. I hit my goal. So here's the cool thing. I put a picture of the guy I wanted to look like 3 different places, and I put the date on, December 17, 2010. And that day rolls around. I show up to the photographer because I prepaid him, and I bring the picture with me, which was the front of the magazine. And I show him the picture, and he goes like this. Looks at me, looks at the picture, looks at me, and says, "Dude, you look better than the guy on the front cover." I'm like, yeah. I'm like, right on. So I got my goal, and and I use that. I teach and train that now because it's like you got to have that goal in front of you, that dream in front of you. So that's kind of like that story. Now I share it on bodybuilding. It goes viral. I built 2 companies now. I have an inspirational apparel company. Then I have a life and leadership company where we train and teach companies and schools, literally life transformational skills. Companies want better sales. We've helped them do that. We're with the company now to keep retention in their colleges and schools. We're able to do that. So we've just taken small, simple strategies and we teach them and we get results. So we're a results-driven company.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, on that, tell me what is the strategy? How do you help people? What's your strategy to help people get better results in their life?
Great question. It all begins in what you're thinking about, what you know about, begins in your thoughts. So if I'm thinking negative thoughts, I'm going to have negative results. I'm going to have thinking positive thoughts, I'm going to have positive results. Because here's what I know as a fact. Many philosophers down through the ages have said the same thing. I said it in a little bit different way, but it works out the same way. Your thoughts become your words. Your words become your actions become your habits, and your habits become your lifestyle, how you live your life. I even wrote a book on it called The Samson Effect, where we talk about those 5 steps, and then we break it down into thoughts and what that really means, and what are you thinking about, and what are the results you're going to get from what you're thinking about. Then we talk about the power of your words. So I'm one of the foremost experts in the world on the power of words. So when you think about it, you speak about it, and your words are one of the most powerful forces in the world because they create.
Yeah.
Your words have creative power. You idiot. That's powerful, right?
Yeah.
Man, you're a winner, dude. You can do it. I believe in you. You matter. Those are powerful words. But the same thing can be said in a different tone and have a negative effect. So we teach and train on that. And our program, like that we started, because we have people like, how did you do it, man? You went from like the treehouse to triumph, and you had nothing, and now you inspired all these people, and you have a company. How did you do that? And so I don't know. Gosh, it took me a long time to figure it out because I was just kind of going through these steps. Then I had to have someone kind of coach me on. Well, they had to dig deep inside of me to help bring it out. Well, then when we finally brought it out, God, it was freaking awesome program. Man. It worked. So it's
all the pieces came together.
Yeah, all the pieces came together. I didn't do it myself. I was smart enough to figure that out, right? I had common sense enough to have other people around me to help me out. And I think honestly, that's a great leadership skill, is getting great people. It's like Henry Ford, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, I just want to hire great people around me.
Right.
I know they know it, so I want to hang out with them. So that's what I've been able to do. And I'm a really good strategist, and I love great people around me. So we built this program. It's rocking. We teach people wisdom, wellness, and wealth. Wisdom is 3 things you do every day. Wellness is 3 things, and wealth is 3 things. That's it. You do those 9 things, you will transform your life. Most people don't. They do like 2, 3, 4 of them, and they have incredible life-changing results. Absolutely. I mean, we're talking families back together, couples connecting more than ever before, people losing body fat, people achieving dreams, teenagers not wanting to commit suicide and actually now being a transformation and inspiration in the community. And we're seeing companies evolve to a bigger, they're doing more than they ever done before. It's just amazing what's happened. And I've just taken them over decades and put them together in a program that makes sense. So
man, that's cool.
We teach the power of words. It's a powerful force. And if you can dive into it and think about it and talk about it, it gets results.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. So what's in the future?
What are we doing now? So we went on a reality TV show just a short while ago, and it's going to come out. It's going to air sometime the first quarter 2018, and it's going to be viewed in front of millions of people in America. And so we have about 46 minutes of airtime, which is equivalent to about $15 million given to us because they like the company, they like us. And so, listen, it's about speaking positive things and good things come to you and the right people come into your life. Absolutely. And that's what's happening to us, is we're attracting the most amazing opportunities into our life. And so it's going to transform our entire company in every area. We're going to have more book sales. We're going to have more journal sales. We're going to have more speaking engagements. Our company's just going to go through the roof. I mean, it's going to be exciting. It's really going to allow us to connect with more people, Gary, and we want to reach as many as we can. And it's pretty amazing because the way they featured us as coaches and mentors and transformational experts. And so, because that's what we are. But we went on the show to do that, not like pitch a barbecue sauce. I mean, nothing that's wrong. So we have life transformational products, and they did it in a way that you could see that happen. And you're like, so
nice.
That's what's up. So my wife and I are going to be traveling, doing a lot more traveling and helping a lot more people. And at the same time, we're just going to have fun doing all that we do.
Good for you, man.
We're going to hang out with as many awesome people as we can, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to it. We talked last week about some exciting things, the mastermind. I'm really looking forward to the relationship retreat.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to what you're doing, man, with words, with helping people.
Awesome.
I totally agree, man. Thoughts become things, words become things.
Absolutely. And I've got some ideas for you and I. We could do some things together with that, because we're going to be on a big stage in front of lots of people. And we are going, buddy, we're going to take advantage of it in a very good way, right? We're going to monopolize every moment we can of that show and capitalize on everything. So we don't want anything to slip through the cracks, because I believe people that are watching it, they go, hey, man, I wonder if they can help me. And the answer is yes. I really believe we can. Yeah. And I know you know that, right? You're like, listen, I can help people. And it's not an arrogant thing. It's a confidence thing, because you've been through the trial and you've overcome it. Now you can help someone else.
Right. Absolutely. I'm not special. It's just about being, that's just how my brain works, is creating a system that I can just look back on my life and say, hey, you know what? I went through the jungle. Here's a map to get through the jungle.
Right. That's right.
That's it. Nice. Well, I know that you're on a time crunch. You got a lot of things to do. So where?
Yeah, I got to speak.
Where can everybody see you? What's your YouTube? What's your Facebook? What's your Instagram? What's your website so people can go check out the book? What's your information?
Yeah. Right. So, and just so you know, everybody who's listening, I just want everyone to know that as of today, October 17th, we're doing some really big things with our social media. So you guys stand by. But here's how you can find us at rockydetwiler.com, samson.life. You can find our book, The Samson Effect. The Samson Effect on Amazon, The Samson Effect, and it's a white book. You can find it there. And so, that's a couple of places you can. We're on YouTube too. Samson Ware, Rocky Detwiler. I'm not hard to find. You can Google me. You can search me. I'm easy to find. It's not hard. Man. Yeah. Nice. I don't know if they want to email me. I'm really accessible. I give that out because it goes right into a box. It's not a problem, but it's just rockyd@samson.life. Feel free to reach out to me. Any inquiries on anything we're doing or anything I shared.
Nice, brother. Well, man, thanks a lot for taking the time.
Thank you, Gary. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be on this call, and we'll connect when I return.
Absolutely. I look forward to it, my friend.
All right. Blessings to you, my friend.
Hope you guys have a great time.
All right, I will. You too. All right.
See you later.